another treat this past year. I had Timothy Olyphant on the podcast not so long ago for the latest Justified season, and the fans were so excited to see you pop in. And I heard you talk very openly, and not many people would say this, I think, but like that you and Timothy kind of went through it, and you maybe at a certain point weren't vibing, and that you've kind of like come back around. Did this kind of help heal the relationship? The fact that you kind of came back for this appearance on the latest season of Justified?
No, we had gotten over that little thing, years before that, but it was such. There is really no story there, right? It's no different than a band that's been playing together for 7 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? I want to play this song. Well, right. It's not on the playlist, man. Like, this is the song we're playing. But I want to play this song this way tonight. Well, there's not a guitar or there's not a steel drum in that song. Like, Hotel California doesn't have a steel drum in it, man. Well, you know what? I brought some steel drums and I'd like to play it. So, it was two people that were extremely passionate about the people that they were playing. And it was really, really nothing more than that. And it was exhaustion. And I think Tim said it better than anybody, in a rebuttal to a story that was kind of blown out of proportion. But you can read these headlines and see these articles. And for me, I was kind of laughing and talking to Tim. Hey, man, this is exactly what I said to my friend Peter, who is a writer. And then it was over a dinner party. It's like, it was tough, It was an honest conversation, and he asked, "Could I include that in the book?" I said, "You can include these 3 lines, because I don't think that would be offensive to Tim." And so we did, and then people blew it out of proportion. But it really was. Yeah. Can I just say this really quickly? What Tim, and maybe he said this to you, but he said this in an interview that I read from Thailand, and he said sometimes people have very peculiar ways of saying goodbye. And I think that's true, whether that was a part of it or not, I don't know, but I think as the ending of a significant experience in a person's life,
almost protecting yourself in a way from like the hurt of like a separation. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You need to say goodbye before the actual goodbye happens, in order to get through and process the goodbye.
There are some stories about my uncle's life, one particular uncle's life, that I find truly always funny and heartfelt and wonderful. I never get tired of hearing them. From hilarious to heartfelt, tear-jerking to plot twisting, his retelling of the events of his life always brings me joy. And just in time for Father's Day, I found the perfect gift that captures all his stories for my family forever. It's called Storyworth. Storyworth helps you preserve precious memories and stories from your father or your grandfather's life for years to come. Here's how it works. This is so cool. Each week, Storyworth emails your loved one a thought-provoking question that you get to help pick. There are dozens upon dozens of cool questions. Their favorite teacher growing up, their favorite movie growing up, their TV show, all of these spawn these great answers, and Storyworth makes the writing process a breeze. All your loved one needs to do is respond to that email with a story. It can be long or short, it really doesn't matter. You'll be emailed a copy of your loved one's response as they're submitted over the course of the year. You'll get to enjoy their retelling of the stories you already know, or be surprised by stories you've never heard before. After that year of fun, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. You could even keep a copy of the book for yourself. This, for me, is going to be a perennial. Every year, if not multiple times a year, I'm going to come back to this book and I'm going to share it with my family and the next generation. Families love Storyworth. That's why it has more than 25,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, with millions of stories preserved since they were founded over 10 years ago. Give all the fathers in your life a unique, heartfelt gift you'll all cherish for years. Storyworth. And right now, you can save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/happysad. That's storyworth.com/happysad to save $10 on your first purchase.